So it seems like the Culinary Union in Las Vegas is really starting to feel the Trump slump. And let's not forget, in 2024, the state of Nevada did flip to a red state. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some in the Culinary Union that probably did vote red. So we're going to talk about their struggles when it comes to the tourism industry, or the lack of tourism. And I have an article here titled, "Tourist Visits to the United States Are Falling, Led by One Country. America Must Be More Welcoming." I think we know who the number one country is, but this article does show who the number two country is, and also who is benefiting from all of this. It's a country you might not be thinking about, because I was actually kind of surprised. But I'm going to share this in this video as well. And lastly, Air Canada suspends flights to New York's JFK. Now, we're all well aware of the fuel shortages globally, so this shouldn't be a surprise to any of us. But it is just another sign that the routes going to the United States just aren't profitable anymore. So we'll get into all of this in today's video. Now, I am back from my weekend getaway, and it was a quick one. I mean, I was only gone for a few days, and it was a quick trip to Singapore. Now, some of you might think, hey, that wasn't really a vacation. But let's not forget, I'm a day ahead of everyone back home, and I just got back probably about an hour ago. But if you're interested, I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of the video. But for now, let's get started on the first clip.
Hospitality workers with the Culinary Union have a message for the Trump administration. The drop in tourism is hurting Las Vegas locals. Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz speaks to workers worried about paying their bills.
Opposition to the administration making their voices and presence known today. Earlier this evening, about 100 protesters with Indivisible Las Vegas was here with signs protesting policies on immigration and tariffs and the war in Iran. And the Culinary Union earlier today, they also wanted to send the message that some of Trump's policies, they say, are having an impact on tourism.
Now, who would have thought becoming a fascist country and being bullies at the border and making it very hard to come into your country would affect your tourism? But Las Vegas is kind of in a unique situation. I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot from different angles. I mean, you have the overall issue trying to get into the United States, with people not wanting to deal with getting detained or pulled into secondary, or visitors from other countries who have to pay another stupid visa fee or even a bond to get into the country. But Las Vegas is shooting themselves in the foot from another angle. Because just going to Las Vegas for a weekend trip is becoming ridiculously expensive. I mean, $9 for a Starbucks coffee, and like $10 for bottled water, and $30 for a freaking burger. Nobody wants to pay that. And that goes for the domestic tourism as well. And I'm seeing these people from the unions protesting. I found myself wondering who voted for who in this report. Am I the only one that does that these days? Because I mean, it seems like it's normal now. You hear people complaining. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, who did you vote for? Let me know in the comments below if you do that as well. And if you do, and you're not subscribed to my channel yet, and you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective, hit that subscribe button so you're notified of my future videos.
And the lifelines for many workers. Now take a look at the rally from the Culinary Union at their headquarters earlier today. Leaders say the immigration crackdowns and high tariffs, they are putting a, quote, chill on travel. They say Trump's rhetoric on Canada, it's driven millions of reliable customers from the north away from Las Vegas. Locals and resorts have been trying to lure Canadians back.
Now, according to that CEO who did that one-for-one promo, he said it was working. If it's working, then why does this report exist? And as you can tell, she stepped back into the room. When I say she, I mean the co-host. Anyways, we remember that CEO's promo. I mean, he said there were 15,000 people that took advantage of it. And that was also the same report where they claimed to have Canadians saying that, oh yeah, we're going to take advantage of it, or we're coming back. And the people that they interviewed weren't even Canadian. I mean, check this guy out. Does he sound like he's from Toronto?
Canadian tourist Corbin Russell says it is his favorite getaway.
We really love America. You know, Canadians, they think different things, man, and Americans just have that set in stone, you know, soul that they, you know, just the culture.
Russell, who lives in Toronto, says the appeal is about more than just gambling, a break from the Canadian winter.
It's too cold. Canada's just so cold, and Vegas, like Vegas is just beautiful. It's like 85 degrees right now, you know, t-shirt, shorts.
You know, you can only fake it for so long, and I mean, the cracks are going to show. And quite a few other Canadians actually picked up on this story as well, and they found out that he was actually from Texas. So I learned from that report, don't believe anything that the corporate people say. What I listen to are these people from the Culinary Union, the frontline workers, the housekeepers, the valet people, the ones that actually see the people coming to Las Vegas. If these people are struggling, then it holds more weight than any CEO in Las Vegas.
From food prices, gas to healthcare, with the rising cost of living all around, hospitality workers say they're just trying to survive and make it.
President Trump, please think of the working class. You promised us a better economy.
You can't be targeting the people that we need to come here. And this is not a Republican thing or a Democratic thing. It's not. This is we need people to come to our city.
Well, technically, then this is just my opinion. It is a Democrat versus a Republican thing. Because if Harris did win, I have a feeling that things would be a lot different, and people would still be coming to your state. But the fact that this guy kind of doesn't blame the actual administration kind of tells me who he voted for. And, to be honest, same with that housekeeper. Because she said the orange guy promised so many things. And I think the tone would be different if somebody did not vote for the orange guy. Instead of saying, like, you promised us this and you promised us that, it was like she was being let down for her vote. I think if someone didn't vote for the orange guy, their tone would be completely different.
And as you heard from the Belmonton housekeeper we spoke with, the drop in tourism, it is certainly leading to a drop in tips for these hospitality workers. The Culinary Union is calling for changes to Trump's no tax on tips policy, which he is touting here. The Secretary Treasurer, Ted Papageorge, called the policy flawed. He says there needs to be modifications to allow no tax on tips for gratuities for large parties, and also help for married couples who might both rely on tips and tax credits for them.
Well, I don't think you're going to get any progress when it comes to like sorting out your taxes on tips and stuff like that. I mean, the US government has bigger problems right now. But unfortunately, your state voted for the orange guy, and now you're going to have to live through, what, 2.5 more years of, just over 2.5 years of having him as your commander-in-chief. So, good luck with that. But on a related note, I want to share this article, and it's titled, Tourist Visits to the US Are Falling, Led by One Country. America Must Be More Welcoming. Now, this article is from the independent.co.uk. And I'm going to read out some of it because I know some of you are just listening right now. But if you want to read the whole thing, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, it starts off. Fewer people are choosing to visit the US, with the country seeing a 5.5% drop in visitor numbers in 2025 compared to 2024, a new study reveals. The United States remained the largest travel and tourism market in the world in 2025, according to the World Travel and Tourism Council's latest economic impact research. But international visitor spending fell 4.6% to $176 billion. Furthermore, while some overseas markets grew by 1.7 million visits, this was outweighed by arrivals from other countries shrinking by 5.7 million, leading to an overall decline of around 4 million. Now, that 4 million from the WTTC doesn't really make too much sense to me. I mean, the BBC says that Canadians alone had 4 million less in 2025, and that's just Canada, not counting any other countries. So I don't know what I'm missing here. I mean, I just don't get it. Moving on. This downward trend was largely driven by Canada, with 4.2 million fewer Canadians heading south through the US for vacations. Okay, Canada alone is 4.2 million, but previously they said 4 million overall. I don't understand it. Anyways, Germany was the second biggest decline driver, with 225,000 fewer visits. Other significant drops were linked to India, 130,000, and France, 116,000. So this is one of the key parts in this article that I actually want to show everyone. Because it's not just Canada that's avoiding the United States. I mean, yeah, we are the biggest country that's avoiding, but citizens from other countries are also avoiding as well. I would love to have a chart for like all the countries and show what the decline is from 2025. Anyways, moving on. The concern for the US, the WTTC points out, is that 2025 was a bumper year for travel, with 80 million more people traveling internationally compared to the year before, which means tourists were actively choosing to go elsewhere. The WTTC highlights that the US is now at a crossroads in its tourism development, because it has a tainted image as a destination that could lose its leadership position to China, the second largest market in the world and one that's rapidly gaining ground. Now, China might not be a tourist destination for many, and it's one that, many Canadians might not even had on their radar before. But they're quickly making it a lot easier for Canadians and other countries to visit. For Canadians, there's no visa requirement for, I think, till the end of the year, and people are taking advantage of it. It added, the momentum reflects the broader strength of Asia Pacific, now the fastest growing travel and tourism region globally. There were about 150 million inbound visitors to China in 2025 versus 68 million to the US. So the default location of going to the United States is definitely not the case anymore. And it turns out, travelers from around the world are actually choosing China. Personally, it doesn't matter to me where travelers decide to go, just as long as it's not to the United States. So I have a question for the GTL community right now. Where are you going this year that is not to the United States? And where would you have gone to in the United States if shit didn't hit the fan? Let us know in the comments below. For me, it probably would have been a golf trip to either Las Vegas or Palm Springs or Phoenix or Scottsdale, somewhere around there. But instead, this year, we're going to Brisbane as well as the Gold Coast. But on that note, I do appreciate all the Australian viewers who sent in the emails and messages telling me where to go and what to look out for, and quite frankly, how to get from like Brisbane over to Gold Coast. I had been to Brisbane and the Gold Coast. This was before COVID, but at that time I was renting a car. But this time I'll be meeting my friends who will already be in the Gold Coast, so I'm probably going to have to take the train or something. But I do appreciate everyone from Australia giving me the feedback on what I should be doing and what I should be taking a look at and things like that. So hopefully I'll get some time to check out some of the suggestions. Now back on the topic of the United States, it's going to be harder for Canadians to actually go to New York if they want to, because Air Canada is canceling flights to JFK. Let's take a look.
We are continuing to follow breaking news. We're learning that Air Canada is suspending Toronto and Montreal flights to New York's JFK Airport. This news comes amid the high cost of jet fuel. For more, let's bring in CTV News aviation specialist Phil Dirty. Phil, always appreciate your time. Talk to us about this decision from Air Canada. How serious is this fuel shortage?
Well, good morning, Scott. Yeah, the fuel shortage is getting to be serious. And so what's happening is the airlines are going to have to consolidate what they're doing. So, for instance, cutting off the flights to JFK, it's not really significant. But the thing is that, LaGuardia is 15 kilometers away. Newark is 26 kilometers away. So it's not like they're isolating or cutting off flights to those locations, like JFK, because you have other airports that can support the environment.
Now that is a fair point. If you still want to go to New York from Toronto, you still have LaGuardia as well as Newark to go to. So when it comes to New York, you do have some options. But we already know, and I did a previous report on this, a lot of Canadian airlines are canceling routes to major airports. And like I've always said, none of this really needed to happen. And this is all caused by one idiot who made the decision to start a war in the Middle East. Wait, let me correct myself. Not just one idiot. 77 million people who voted this idiot in. New York might have some options because you have 2 alternate airports to go to. But I'm really wondering whether or not WestJet and Air Canada will start canceling more routes to other major airports in the United States. And this is just Air Canada. We're not even talking about other international airlines from all around the world. And whether they're going to be canceling flights to the US. I'm sure they are. I just don't have the data on that yet. Now I want to fast forward a little bit because I'm running out of time. But I do want to focus on the impact that's going to have to us Canadians.
And ultimately, particularly as we're coming closer and closer to the busy summer travel season, if prices continue to be impacted for us as the consumer, how do you foresee that might impact demand?
Well, what's going to happen is that people aren't going to be able to afford to fly. Big summer season is Europe, so going to England, Paris, Italy, Greece. All those flights are going to get a lot more expensive because of the fuel burn. They're going to try and use more efficient aircraft on those routes, but there's only so much the airlines can do.
So I have a question for the viewers. Has anyone's travel plans actually been affected by this? Have any of us decided not to go on a trip because the cost is too high? It really sucks that we have to think about this, and obviously, the frustrations can filter to just one thing. But unfortunately, I expect it to get worse before it starts to get better. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me on this. Now to close off this video, I would like to thank Mr. Mystics again for posting another photo on our Discord server. And this time it's from Lac des Arcs in Alberta. I hope I pronounced it properly. I actually did look it up. So thank you again, Mr. Mystics, for posting up your photos from across Canada. Now as for my short weekend getaway, I did get a chance to go to Singapore, and my wife and I actually went there with some friends to attend a concert. But one of the big attractions there is just the airport itself. What you're looking at right now is called the Jewel. And there's a reason why the Changi Airport is rated #1 in the world. Not just because of the attractions, but also for its efficiency. Singapore no longer has people manning the immigration desk. Everything is automated now. And literally, you're through within a few seconds. Now, I know it might be a far trek for anyone in North America who's planning to go to Southeast Asia. I mean, I think it's like 60.5 hours from Vancouver. And not only that, you got the fuel prices caused by the orange idiot. But I think when things start to really settle down and, things get kind of back to normal, I would highly suggest that anybody that's interested in going to Southeast Asia to put Singapore on the list as well. Alright, that's all I got for this video. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.